Yes, Grand Rising, Julie. Hi. Hi, Sammy. Hi, everybody. Welcome. There's a few people on. Well done, guys. Welcome here. Good afternoon from Bali. Sat in my usual seat. The staff know me now. They know I like a salad. They know my routine now. I'm a rabbit. I have a rabbit on a run. How are you doing, guys? Every time I ask for something different, they get shocked. How are you doing? Welcome, everybody. Beautiful day. Yeah. Somebody's just right next to me. Just stood listening. Sorry. Nobody was here. Nearly an hour. As soon as I pressed play. Yeah. So amazing. So anyway, I think we'd like to discuss maybe a deep dive, a little bit of a deep dive for those that are struggling at the moment with their partners. This is something that's fairly deep and something that we may be able to talk about. We touched upon it in the interview with Lynn Nichols, but I'll try and explain from my perspective. So many perspectives you can look at and so many healing modalities you can use, but I'll try and explain. So this morning I noticed a message that came in with regards to somebody asking about a crystal that may help her partner, and the reason why is her partner struggles when she talks to him. So her partner is gone now, so that's good. So her partner feels closed up, or becomes closed up. Sometimes he becomes angry, sometimes he becomes judgmental, sometimes he picks on her and mocks and ridicules her, and sometimes he gets really angry. She doesn't know what to do. She's wondering, what crystal it is. So I sent her a message because I do understand it on a male point of view. Of course I understand it. I've been there, still am there at the moment. Not so sure whether it'll ever clear. But for me, understanding this is quite simple, because when you're at school as a child, you instantly attach yourself to fear when it comes to making a mistake. So I've made this observation before, where a child walks up to a fire and knows it's hot, an open fire, and gets very close, and the mother screams at the child for going near the fire, because she obviously is panicking and she wants to be a good mother, and she wants to protect her child, and she doesn't want a child to stick a hand in the open fire. The chances of the child sticking the hand in the open fire is very, very minute. Just like a child falling down the stairs, they have this sixth sense that they know danger, and I guess on an odd chance it might happen, but the majority of times it doesn't. But point being, a mother at that particular moment has two choices. The first choice will be to go over gently and smile and pick the baby up and go, ooh, ooh, hot, hot, or run over and scream, grab the baby, and thus the baby now has a connection to fire, either one way or the other. The first way obviously would be the best way, because there is no fear being put into that child, because she's gone over very calmly, lovingly, not rushed, and just gone, ooh, hot, 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 ooh, and played with the child, and just being aware of the child, but making sure that the child just doesn't put the hand in the fire. That's a good mother, and then play with the child, and then the baby isn't bothered anymore and goes off. So the baby doesn't relate anything as negative, anything as fear-based. But the second action of the screaming, now the child has a connection to the fire because of the mother's fear which has been put into the child. Understand that? Well, think about the same action as a teacher at school. Every teacher that I've ever come across, apart from maybe one or two, made sure that they told me I was thick as pig shit, basically. Get out of the classroom, you stupid Mr. Bajerski. You're ruining the class. You're no good for me, no good for my, scale of how many wonderful children are in the class. So if you're a dummy, then it kind of ruins my work and it makes me look like a bad teacher. You're unteachable. You're not very good, and thus you create the same kind of fear. And the fear base that I'm talking about is being, again, mocked and ridiculed, being put down, being made to look stupid. So now you've got this internal system that anybody who speaks to you in a way that the school teacher spoke to you, it brings back that same memory. And that memory is a most haunting one, a most awful one. Being ridiculed in the class, being made to go outside, stick your finger on your lips in the middle of the playground, or even in the corner of the room where all the other children are watching you. Cross your hands, which I used to have to do, and stick your hand like that. That was through the whole of the class. If I was stupid. And of course, in the world of understanding the realms of the system, which is a complete and utter abuse system. If you have a brain that has a very, very powerful memory system, then you are deemed perfect, a genius, wonderful, perfect, everything you do right, you know. But if you don't have that, because you're not listening, because it has no purpose in your life, and you know it doesn't, and you shouldn't be doing this, you should be doing something else, then you become disruptive, you become uncontrollable, as was said to my mum and dad every time they came. A lovely boy, but uncontrollable, hasn't got any sense of being able to concentrate. I can't concentrate on shit, on crap, on bullshit, on nonsense, on nothing that is serving my joy or happiness. Oh, well, that's life. No, it's not. Yes, it is. You've got to learn all these things about your history. No, you don't. Who said you do? It's a prison. So I still retain that very same abuse from all my teachers. So girls, I don't think not so much as boys. I think girls got it to a degree, but I think girls seem to, I mean, in my classes, when I was with classes with girls, I never had once a girl leave a class. They were good, they get on with it, they just put up with it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Suki, thank you. Very kind. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm sure there were a lot of girls who, but I'm just saying in general, there weren't tons of boys neither who got into trouble all the time. It was predominantly me. So I was used to getting ready to be mocked and ridiculed. Stand up and read. I can't read. I'm not a good reader. So again, get out of the class, got whacked, or tried to change the energy in the class so that I'd say, I'm sorry sir, I can't read, get outside, Bajerski. And you can see the abuse all the time, So anyway, in my relationships, if anybody triggered me, whoever it was, whether it was a relationship, partnership, marriage, whether it was somebody that I know, if somebody triggers me, I respond in the same way as a child, because nobody ever taught me how to deal with my emotions. My mum, my dad just abused me and beat me. My mum just gave me a hug and said I was beautiful and loved me, but never talked about emotions or how to deal with them. The teachers don't talk about emotions because all they want you to do is obey and be controlled, and and so we're left with a traumatized child that doesn't know how to handle emotions, and when triggered because of the past, they go into certain modes. So one of the modes is very clear. They go quiet and they don't speak. Why? Because when as a child they were attacked by the teacher told them to shut up, put their finger over the mouth and shut up. Don't say anything, don't speak. Okay? So we go into this mode without realizing. We're still a child in our mind. We still have that same memory of the fear, of the ridicule, which begins when you say something as a partner to me that triggers me, that my memory remembers as a child. So, yeah, that memory as a child, we don't know that we're still acting out that memory as a child. It's just ingrained, it's burnt into us. So we react, we can get angry, we can run away, we can try to defend ourselves as we did at school. Jesus Christ, sorry guys, somebody's just hanging around listening. Sorry guys. So, runaways is a big one. And you can be with different partners, and some partners don't trigger you at all. Other partners can trigger you by just the way they sound, by the way they ask you a question, and even if the question is asked in a loving way, or just a normal conversation way, without an argument way, you can still be triggered, because your memory is burnt into certain thoughts and feelings of your past as a child. So you can be triggered at any given moment. Problem is, it's hard for most men to recognize this, to understand it. 99% of men don't have a clue. And when you don't want to be embarrassed because you were never taught in school about embarrassment, and you shouldn't be embarrassed, and every question is important, and every child should be able to be expressive and speak what they feel without being ridiculed or mocked or beat like I was. You can't do anything about that. It's done now. Maybe things have changed now, but for me, trying to understand my emotions when somebody says something, and I react to somebody more so than somebody else, is probably not that person's fault. It's just the way they speak. And when you realize that, and if you're listening today and you're that person, or you are a person who gets abused by a husband by a way of because it is a form of abuse to you, you'll feel it as a form of abuse. Why does he speak to me? Why does he ridicule me? Why does he attack me? Why does he always defend himself when I'm just asking a question? All I can say is this, most men that I know are messed up really bad, and they're just trying to get through life, and it's very hard to heal with such trauma. This isn't an excuse, but when you understand it's not about you, when you understand it's the pain of what they've been through, whatever abuse it was, and it's triggered by you, it isn't you. Yes, you're the trigger. Of of course you are, but so are other people. You're not the only trigger for that person, your partner, or they're triggered by those very things. So it's not personally you. It just is what it is. So first of all, you've got to come to terms with, when even when you're kind and you say something and he's triggered, it's like, well, how do I actually fix this? How do I, I've tried every situation I can. I've been nice, I've been loving, I've been, I shouted, I cried, and he just doesn't change. And how do I help him? The bottom line is you can't really help him. That's the truth. Because a lot of the times when you try and help him recognize who he is, he's got this mechanism, this safety mechanism that he thinks is protecting him by way of doing what he's doing, running away, fighting back, going silent. That's his only mechanism he knows. So you can't really change that. How does a man change? How does he heal from his abuse? Well, one thing, it doesn't happen overnight. And it might even not happen in this lifetime. For a man to recognize his issues, his problems, his abuse, his reaction is very, very rare. Very rare. Very rare. Normally they apologize, but then that doesn't heal the issue that's deep inside them. And the only person, truthfully, who can heal that person is themselves. And they may come a point that they recognize that they can't keep living like this because they end up with different partners all the time and the same problem keeps coming up. Or they don't, and they just live through that, and the day that they move into the light, they go, oh shit, that was something that I needed to heal from and understand the healing process and work through it. And now I've conquered that healing process and I'm aware of it and I understand how to heal from it. Very rare to hear that. I've heard a lot of spiritual people talk about these things and claim that they've healed through them, and then I've spent time with them and realized you're full of shit. You haven't healed anything. You've got information, but you haven't utilized anything. So there's a lot of us like that. So I put my hand up and say, I react to people. I used to be a lot worse than I am. I can tell you that as a fact. With teachers, I just wouldn't give them the time of day and I would react back to them. Now I have a lot of friends who are teachers. It took me a long time to get over that. But healing helps, for sure. Healing helps. Crystals help. Incense helps. Working on yourself and looking at your life and, trying to understand why you reacted. So the first thing is to look at your life and say, look, it wasn't you. This isn't you. This isn't personal. If you're a guy watching this, it isn't you. Yeah, your reaction is you now, but the point of reason why is because you were abused as a child. So there's nothing to defend, nothing to be upset over your partner about. There's nothing to attack or to, mock or ridicule her. It's not her fault. She's just trying to reach out with love because she wants you to be happy. It's not about her wanting you to be, perfect for her. She sees you as somebody that she wants to help, and she does. She literally wants to help you. So when you have a conversation, and it might be a challenging conversation, you can look at yourself in a way that you don't react straight away and think she's attacking me. She's doing it out of love. And most guys don't understand that. They don't see it because life's always been a challenge. It's been a race. It's been a test. It's been, a measuring stick of whether you're thick or clever, or whether you're soft or hard, or it's all bollocks. It always was at school. That's what turned us, most men, into the way we are, and that's why so many marriages break down. Because of the very system, but that was deliberate. If you step out of it, you see it's genius. It's evil, pure genius. Let's get everybody into this system. Let's fuck them up in the brain, mess them up, put fear, put abuse into them by the way the system works, schooling system works. And hey, bingo, get them to get married, now get them to get divorced because they can't live together because we put that system in place that abuses you. And thus we now create the system that makes so much money from solicitors, because your partnership is ended and it was a partnership. So now the assets get split and we take most of your money because the system creates the very people who steal your money, and so on. So if you're angry with anybody, you don't be angry with your partner, you're angry with the system. The only way you can get back at that is by breaking that system program in your mind. I guess I want to finally leave this conversation with one note. There are women who stay with men because they know deep down that they're loving and kind and caring, and this time bomb, this ticking bomb that explodes every now and again is something that they can put up with for so long, and they just wonder how long they can put up with it. The problem with that is that you as a beautiful woman, it's not your job to be the punch bag, the emotional punch bag. And I'm not advocating for divorce. I'm not. Absolutely not. But I can tell you something. One of the most profound moments in my life to awakening and to see who I am and to become a better person was when my marriage broke down, my first marriage broke down. I remember falling on my knees crying and not being angry at my wife, but asking myself, what did I do and what didn't I do to make this a good marriage? And I was able to look at myself for the first time and see that I wasn't a good husband. I can't have been because of what happened. So I was able to look at myself and say, okay, I accept responsibility. It's not, you don't just walk away from a marriage. It happens for reasons. So I took that as a blessing. And I always remember saying to myself, if I ever decide to be with somebody again, if I say married, then I'm just in the same program as everybody else. I'm in the matrix. I'm in the system. It's not about marriage. If I'm ever to be with somebody else again, I'm gonna be a better person. So I was telling myself to be a better person, to be a kinder person, more loving person. And I wish I had somebody at that time to help me understand what I needed to do to acknowledge all the things that I've learned over this, from 38 years old till now, which has been vital information for me, because although I still react, although I'm still not anywhere near where I should be, I still think I'm better than I was when I was 20. I think I'm more calmer, I'm more understanding. I still have to deal with that trauma every day that I work on, because it's a deep trauma, guys. If you're watching this, it's a freaking deep trauma. School is a 24/7 abuse trauma. And teachers, most of them back then, were part of the system and how it was meant to work. So there were very few who went into the system and tried to change it and to be caring and kind, and to recognize that some children are not meant to be perfectionists at pie charts or graphs or history or geography or whatever, and to recognize that some teachers are so abusive that why would you want to learn anything from an abuser? Like, why can't you learn? Because I don't like my teacher. But it's not about the teacher. Yes, it is about the teacher. It's about everything. Would you learn from a piece of shit? Would you learn from a dirty, disgusting human being who's a paedophile? Would you listen to anybody like that? No, you wouldn't. So why would I listen to an abuser at school who's nasty and hates children, who throws board rubbers at them because he's so angry at his life and he hates his job? Am I going to listen to that? That's abuse, guys. We just don't understand how bad schooling system is. because the schooling system is nothing but an absolute cesspit that churns out and kills the soul and the spirit of that beautiful child that should be loved and cared for, and everything that you share with that child should be done with love and understanding, and there is no wrong and right, and there is no tests that say that you're a genius or you're a stupid fool. That's just abuse. But that's just my take on it anyway. I just wanted to kind of share that with everybody, especially those who are going through such a traumatic time with their partner and they don't understand why this is happening. I'm not somebody who would tell you to stay with somebody who abuses you like that. That's, you know, I can say that safely as a man that was with somebody. If I wasn't nice to somebody, you shouldn't be with me, because I can't control my emotions or my knee-jerk reactions. I'm nasty, I'm horrible, and I just can't seem to shake it. I don't know. No woman should be in that position, and no man also shouldn't be in that position with a woman, because women are the same. They are traumatized as well, and they do scream and fire and you know, because they were traumatized as well. I'm just talking about the perspective of today and the conversation I've had with somebody who sent me a message, who was a feminine, a woman, a female, who wanted to ask me about a male. So if now you're saying, well, you've got it all, you know, there's the other side of the... No, I'm just having a conversation. I can't put everything into one conversation. There's many different conversations in this one. It's just one of many. And there's loads of reasons why. I'm just giving you one of a few reasons, but there are many more. So please don't, you know, shoot the messenger who's just giving you some perspective of a healer and a man who's been through deep trauma at schools, who was, you know, deemed the stupid one, the idiot. So there you go. It's just my perspective, that's all. You don't need to hold on to it. You don't need to use it. You don't need to... You just walk on. If it doesn't resonate, walk on. Don't worry about it. But just don't attack again. Just let it sink in. If you're a guy, just let it sink in. If you're a woman, let it sink in. If it doesn't feel right, fine. It's not. It wasn't the answer. But maybe there's something in this that triggers you to think. But I don't advocate for leaving. I don't advocate for staying. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you, your choice, your power. Because if I tell you to leave, then you can get really pissed off with me, because you might look back and say, you know, I should have stayed. It's your fault. So then you've got an easy excuse to walk away because somebody's told you to do it. No, it's in your hands. You have to make that decision. Therefore, my understanding of life is that I make the decision. If I make the decision, then that's part of my spiritual awareness, path, journey, and level of understanding, and whether I get it right or wrong. If I'm listening to somebody, then you've got it all wrong. If I'm doing what somebody tells me to do, I've got it all wrong. It's not how it works. We receive information from people, and if we're stuck, you know, we're sometimes led to the right message or messages that might help us. And like, oh, Jesus, I didn't like that. Now I know what I want to do. Oh, Jesus, I really love that. I know what I want to do. It's not about right message or wrong message. It doesn't matter how that message comes, but messages and information and energy and coincidences and signs come to us, and we take from all of what we see and feel daily and what we're channeling daily by our thoughts, utilize them and make decisions for what's right and wrong. Is there such thing as being in a relationship too long? No. Is there such thing as being in a relationship too short? No. It is what it is. There is no right and wrong. Every time you start saying there's a right and wrong, you've got it wrong. You're in the system again. Your brainwashing is still part of who you are. I am with somebody as long as I'm meant to be. When that happens, how long I stay is lovely, I stay. And if I go, I go. There is no wrong and right. It just is what it is. It's a life journey, and we try and make the most of it, and we try and heal and strengthen our life path every day and become a better version of ourselves. Corny, but it's true. We try and become a better version of ourselves and share that with, our loved ones, our family, our children, to be a better version of ourselves. Whether they take that on board or not is whatever, but being pulled into this hero energy, being pulled into this, the future or the past, it's all bad. It's all negative. It's all destructive, because you're just, there's nothing there for you to hold on to. There's nothing there for you to. It's an illusion. Your past is an illusion. The future is an illusion, and you're not in control of those things. It's bullshit. The only thing you've got in control of is you right here and now. That's it. Everything else is just keeping you in a state of zombie nation. That's what the system does, by the way. It hijacks you from your moment and from your time by so many deceptive, devious, evil, abusive ways. It fears you, puts fear into you, got you already. It sleight of hands you, tricks you all the time. It manipulates you. All of those things, guess what? You're no longer in control. It's got you. The only time you're in control is when you don't look at anything. Don't look at your phone. Don't listen to it. Just do what feels right for you in the moment. It's the only control that you've got in your life, when you take control of your own power. No one has the power over me. And by using that understanding, that golden nugget of truth, then you recognize that everything is a hijack. Everything on TV, all those people that you love and think are amazing, it's a hijack. Maybe I'm a hijack for you. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe just listening to me every day isn't going to answer your questions, isn't going to strengthen your life. So take what you can all over, and make sure that the ultimate goal in your life is you. The ultimate purpose in your life is your footsteps in here and now, in the moment. Everything else is an illusion and knocks you off your path and journey. Embrace the power within you. The hero. You are the hero. I am my hero. Oh, his ego. No, I'm not ego. I'm just not following other people. I'm not listening to mainstream media and fearing it all day. I'm not being pulled into, oh, it's going to be war soon, or this is going to happen. I'm not being pulled into that, because I am no longer the power that I am, because I've just given it away. It's gone. Useless. I've just wasted my day. You've just wasted a beautiful day and your energy. So, anyway, that's it really. I am wishing you all a lovely day. I really am. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Yeah. It's true though. When you really understand it like I did, I was being abused by my mentor. I've mentioned this so many times. I was abused so badly by her. It's like, always abused by mentors. What is this? Well, I need to get over it. The only way you can get over it is not be pulled in by mentors, not put them on pedestals, not allow them, to take over your life and turn you into a prisoner of their world so it makes their life better. Don't allow them to jump on your back and ride you. Don't be a slave to a mentor. Don't ever be a slave to a mentor. Do you know how many people, I'll tell you this as a fact, right? It used to piss me off, but I'll tell you this as a fact. Every time somebody came up to me and I'd look at them after they spent a time with me, they'd look at me and say, I want to work with you. I want to do this. I said, and I'd look at them and say, You're looking at me because you can see, if you know what I know, you could make a lot of money, right? And they go, yeah, I do. So I'd walk away from them. I'd just walk away from the horribleness of that person. There's loads of them out there. And in that moment when you realize that when you have such energy and love and kindness, and you want to spread that and share it lovingly and freely, there's always people trying to pull you into this, no, don't share it, don't share that, hold on to it. My mentor was like that all the time, and I used to say to her, why don't you share this? Why don't you tell the world? No, don't tell them nothing. Why? Don't tell them nothing. I swear to God, don't tell them nothing. And the only time she would tell them is if they pay for it. And she'd call it universal exchange. I'm like, no. The world's a big place. No. And funnily enough, I got attacked by her for charging for healing sessions. When at first I said I don't want to charge for healing sessions, and she said, yeah, but universal exchange, you must charge for healing sessions. I'm like, hang on a minute, you're telling everybody I charge for healing sessions, you're the one who told me to. This is how it works, you see. This is how darkness works. Being corrupted. I do understand energy exchange, and I understand how it works, and I found my balance with that. I found my peace with that. Nobody, I don't think, did as much 3-hour sessions as me. I think I'm probably one of very few. Might be 1,000 in the world, but you can ask my ex-wife. I used to come home with hardly any money, but that was okay because it was from the heart. I would never charge anybody if they just lost their partner, if they lost their dog, if something tragic happened to them. I would never charge them because it came from the heart. This was the people who I charged were the ones who came like, were filled with joy and happiness and wanted to, learn. They wanted to, have a reading because they're excited, or they're a business person and they want to grow, or they're a spiritual person and they're happy with their journey and they want to grow. You understand when to, when the money exchange comes. And I teach that in the Pure Energy Healing Academy. So I look back on my life and think, as a healer, it was beautiful. It was a perfect combination. I didn't go OTT, I made just enough, and now I look back and think, that's why I'm successful now, I think, because I'm being rewarded for the goodness of all of those 2 decades. That's how I see it anyway. So that's where I kind of really believe in certain words from the Bible, that the meek shall inherit the earth. So when you're kind and you're caring and you're not all about the money, and when you gift from your heart and you do things all the time, you inherit the earth. And it's not about abundance and wealth afterwards, but it's just about being looked after and loved and taken care of in so many ways, which is health, well-being and spiritual, healing inside. I'm not traumatized, or I'm not demonized inside. I'm not carrying, such tremendous suffering that people do every day. There's a lot of healing takes place when you're kind and caring and you do good for the world. It's all balance. It's all a matter of balance. And nobody's ever taught balance. Schools don't teach balance. Schools teach trauma. Schools teach you how to run the cog when you leave. It doesn't teach you how to live, or how to, be with somebody, or how to deal with your emotions. They don't give a shit about you. You're just the rat running the wheel that they want you to keep running. They don't care how long you run for. If you drop dead after a week after school, they don't care, as long as you keep running. Or a year, or 10 years, or 50 years. And then you stop running that wheel and you realise what the frigging hell was I running that wheel for. And then it's too late and you drop down dead. No problem. It's not my issue. It's something that I need to deal with. I can't help that person running that wheel. I can't help that person who's gone through college and university who talks like an automaton robot, who has no understanding about life at all. Not my issue. It's not my issue. Because we've all been through that. We've all been through, we've all been pushed into the trauma. We've all been told by parents or billboards or mentors, this is what you should do. Become a doctor, become a scientist, become a this, become that. So brainwashing. It's all brainwashing, and it's all manipulation. Every bit of that is a manipulation. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be happy. No, you didn't understand the question. What was it? No, sir, you don't understand life. There you go. Anyway, guys, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who went and bought the book of Lynn Nichols. It's sold out, so congratulations, Lynn. Brilliant. I don't know how long it'll take before it's back up again, but I'm so glad that it's sold out. And I have no idea how long. I mentioned it to her last night. I said the book's sold out, so you might have to contact whoever the provider is on Amazon, or who's dealing with it. I don't know who the publishers are. But well done, guys. Thanks for buying it. I hope you appreciate it. I had a nice read through what I wanted to heal through my body, and I was pretty blown away, actually, and made a lot of sense. So, wow, I've got something out of it already. And hopefully I'll revert to that book through the whole of this year to be able to help clients as well. So yeah, it's a blessing for me. It's an absolute blessing. Thank you for the hard work you've put into it, and all of the ancient wisdom that's in there that we can all utilize and give to the people that we love. Whether they utilize that information is none of our business. We just give, and then it's up to them. I get information every day. It's up to me whether I utilize that or not. Nobody else's issue. On another note, riding a motorbike in Bali, another warning. Indicators mean nothing. So don't judge a car with its indicator or a motorbike. If an indicator's indicating, don't look at the indicator. Watch where the person's turning, not the indicator. All right, so just don't look at indicators as if they're turning, because you're going to get knocked over or you're going to bang into it. All right, you're going to bang into the motorbike or the car. That's something important to remember. Another thing that's important to remember, guys, is don't get too close to other motorbikes. Just keep your distance from cars and motorbikes. The reason why is because Bali suffers with potholes that can just burst your tyre as you're driving. It can bang into a pothole and it can literally burst your tyre and you can go flying off the bike. So you have to be fully aware when you're riding. Look down, look in front of you, but look down all the time. Don't take your eyes off the road itself as well. So there's numerous things that you need to be aware of when you're riding your motorbike. And these are two very important things. So that's it, really. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. I'm leaving soon. Back to Spain. I'll miss this place. But I am looking forward to getting back to Spain and getting back to work and working on some beautiful crystals that my beautiful family over here have made. 750 crystals that they've created. Here's one of them. I like my tea bar. Love it. Perfect. So yeah, 750, and I'm picking up all my moldavites, which are about 300 moldavites. So it's going to be a beautiful moldavite, a couple of 3 weeks of moldavites that I'll be talking about moldavites and working on them a little bit more till I put them out, and putting them on my website, some beautiful small ones, so hopefully affordable for everybody. What else? I've made some prototypes that I'm really excited about. I don't want to mention too much about that till they're wrapped up, so I'll do a box opening with the prototypes. Really looking forward to that. Moldavite Tektite. Shut up, Matt. Moldavite, yeah, go on then. Moldavite Tektite. Here's one of them. Moldavite Tektite and Libyan Desert. 3 beautiful out of space crystals together. So that's one, and there's others as well. So I actually love making prototypes and working on them. It's fabulous. And some other things that are happening as well. Don Tolman's oil is lovely. I don't know what it is, but the oil in Australia, I think you get a lot more for your money, a lot more. And I was thinking, I was working it out. I literally don't know how they do it. I've no idea. Mine seems a lot more thicker. I've noticed that. So mine's really thick. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. It's just maybe where I bought the oils from. The gold. I just looked into it. I can't. I wouldn't buy gold at $2.99 from China. I just wouldn't do it. It's just not what I would do. So we went on the search for real gold, because the gold from China and India and places like that, it's not gold. When it's melted down, it's not gold. It's just been electrified apparently to look like gold. But when you melt it down, the gold content is next to nothing. Nothing. It's more copper based or other metals based. I buy my my gold from Italy, and the lady who I buy it from, I can't just buy it. I have to contact them and say what's today's gold prices, and then they'll tell me, and I'll say, okay, I'd like to buy this much grams in gold flake, and I get a price. So my jars of, if you squash the gold down, it's next to nothing. If you look at the flakes, it's next to nothing. So anyway, so like a jar of gold nugget, really fine nuggets, is 300 to 500, right? And the flakes are 290 plus EVA for the small jar. For the big jar, it's 490 plus EVA. So, and with a jar of flakes, you might get 300 or 400 bottles to one jar of flakes. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I mentioned it. And then the other thing was, the only reason why I made it and asked for the recipe, paid for the recipe and paid a fortune for it, and give 25%, just so you know. I don't rip anybody off. I'm the kindest person I think I am. But it's like you can buy it from Australia and you get a lot more for your money, and I'm like, I just I'm just like, maybe it's also and I also understand that Australia want to sell all Don Tolman's products, and it's like, it probably makes more sense that you buy from Australia to me. So I'm thinking, I did what I needed to do, because Australia at the time, who Don was using, wasn't able to ship to Spain, or else I'd have bought it. And when I did, it took 2 years and got sent back. But now this new company, apparently, who's working with Don and selling all his products. They ship all over the world, and apparently everybody's getting it. So I'm like, it's probably better if it all comes from one place. Now I know I'm like, well, why would you do that? You're shooting yourself in the foot, right? It's not about the money, but I still feel it's probably better if it all comes from Don Tolman's company. And I think, it makes more sense and it feels right to me. So, like I said, there was a lot of changes coming in my mind of what I'm going to. I think I've done a great job with Don Tolman's oil. I'm sorry if it was too expensive, and you get it cheaper I actually did a lot of, see, I haven't counted for that as well. I did a lot of giveaways, and I also did a lot of buy, 4 and get 3 free. So overall, I don't know. I did my best. I just did my best. But now I don't think I want to do anymore. I think I'm done. And I enjoyed it. And once we've run out, then it's gone. Or maybe I just put a stop when I get back. And I don't know. Just see. I don't know how many we've got left. But anyway, that's my thought. It's more integrity to me. And I think the company who's with Don now, who's producing all his products, I think they'd be happier too. I have that feeling. They'd be happier if it all comes from one place. And I get it. I'm not selling all his products. And, if I did, it would be nice that I would be the only one selling them. So it kind of feels right. And I think they'd be very happy that I did that. And that'd make me feel better, because I don't want to feel like anybody's unhappy with me selling. Although I was the first one to do it, I was in there before they were. But I do understand, that if it all comes from one place, there's no issues. It's just nice and simple from one place. And you can buy all his stuff there. All the beautiful stuff that he found and shares with the world. That's it, really. Anything else? Any more changes? Yeah, there is, and I'll talk about it. I'm doing a lot more. I'm going to do a lot more interviews with healers to get their message out. I did try one, but I don't know what happened. It was probably my flipping fault. I don't know, but I thought I was connecting at a certain time, and we didn't. So, I'm so rubbish at stuff like this. But I will, I have reached out to a few more healers, and we'll try again. And, that's it, really. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm wishing you all a lovely day from Bali. I'm going to take off now and have a bike ride and see where Bali takes me. I love that. I don't know if I told you about this. It's basically hydrogenated water. It's structured water, and I've been drinking it, and it's been pretty cool, really. Got a lot of energy from it. So I just wanted to see how it works over here. So I went to look for the company on the back. Anyway, I went to the company and got on the road where it's meant to be, and I couldn't find it. It's a lovely story, this. You'll love it. This is the story of my life, like I say. It's normal for me, this. So, a random shop. Asked the lady behind the counter. She didn't know. Then she asked the boy on a motorbike. The boy on the motorbike spoke a little bit of English. Did pretty well, actually. And I showed him it, and he started looking for it on his phone, and he says, "Let me take you to where this place is," on his phone. He didn't know where it was, so off we went. But I don't know. It wasn't anywhere near where I thought it was. So after about 15 minutes, we gets to this dirt track, and we turn off into this 2 big doors, and we walked into this gate, this courtyard, and there's a woman sat down with a man. Man's having a coffee, woman's just smiling, lovely. And he walks up to her and starts talking to her about this water. And next minute, I kid you not, look at me, next minute, she looks at him and she says, and he goes, and she starts crying, and she grabs hold of him and starts kissing him and holding him. So I didn't interrupt that. Something's happened here. A reuniting of this woman's in tears, holding him, looking at his face, kissing him. Anyway, after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they stopped crying, and apparently the company used to be in there and used to hire a certain part, but they've left now. But I asked the boy who's the woman, and apparently it's his auntie, and his mum and auntie had a fight, and he's never seen his auntie. Can you imagine? Yeah, all right, cheers guys. Did I do a good job today? Thanks for that. He was in tears, and it was lovely for her. It was like, I don't know. That's as much as I got out of the conversation. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you that, how the universe works and spirit works through us. So there you go. Pretty awesome. It's again another lovely story for another book, but I could go on about it. I could tell you how he cried and what happened and what they were doing, but it was too personal, and I walked away and let them get on with it. And then after all of that had finished and they talked for so long, then I came over. So, well, I didn't. He called me, and yeah, but it was beautiful, so beautiful. But again, that's very normal in my life. It happens all the time. Synchronicities are so beautiful when you recognize them and see them. Okie doke. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Send you all my love and healing. Take care, guys. Till maybe later on or tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. Take your power back. No one has the power over you. Don't follow people, and don't have heroes. There is a saying, and there's a reason why. You're always better off not meeting your hero, because you'll be disappointed, which means be your own hero. Love you all. Take care.